Yo guys, welcome to the video. This is Josh or Milky and I'm coming with a video today. I have been working on this one for a few days. Obviously, a lot of people have been doing this now. I'm late to the party, but I did do a test on this strategy, the T7 farming strategy, and I put my own kind of spin on it. I was working on it before I knew that Garratha had obviously shared it. Everyone started doing it, but I put in the work and I wanted to share with you my version and the results that I got from it, as well as my findings. So if that's something you want to hear, or if you just want to head on over to the spreadsheet, do feel free to do so. But I'll talk about this. First of all, my character was a hybrid magic find character. I had 40% increased item quantity and 141% rarity whilst doing this farm. So just to get that out of the way. Now, a lot of people come into chat whilst I was doing this and asked me why T7. There was a command exclamation mark T7 was probably the most used command in my chat for the past few days. And the reason for that, obviously, is you would expect in T7s for it to be much, much worse. But in actuality, it wasn't even close to worse. We'll look at the pros and cons for doing T7s. Essentially, it is much, much easier. This means that you can do it faster, and you can also kind of neuter your build a bit more to incorporate more magic find. It also means you can run more content on the map if you want to include high levels of delirium or stuff like that. The cons, there are some, of course. You cannot drop Awakened Sextants, you cannot drop Valdo's boxes, and you cannot use altars. Altars obviously are great. They allow you to increase the map quantity and rarity, and of course there are those big ticket divine orb chances, or even just things like duplicating currency that you are going to miss. I will say right now, in my opinion, if you can run T16 at the same, pace and all that as the T7, it undoubtedly 100% in my mind is better, and I think most people would agree with that. T16 is better if you can run it. T7 is only better if you can't run it on your build with maybe the same level of magic find that you would want to do so. So you have to maybe drop the Sedemas, the gold worms, all that kind of stuff. It's not as easy in the T16s, especially when you're doing Abyss, which is particularly difficult, especially when you summon those carry-on golems that just one-shot you out of immunity. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's experienced that league and is growing quite tired of it. So this was actually a welcome break for me, as I was sick of dying to Abyss mobs. So if you want to do this and you have a weaker character, definitely something to jump in on. I wouldn't say it's an entry-level strategy by any means. It's just easier. You still obviously have to invest it in your map. So if you're a bit tentative about doing so, I know a lot of people aren't accustomed to investing in their maps, but for this strategy you will certainly have to. So for the tree, we obviously go Wandering Path. With the maps being easy, we don't have to worry about the potential downsides of going Wandering Path with more difficult maps. Also, we're going to get to increase the effect of the modifiers for Abyss, stuff like spawning all magic monsters, spawning more rare monsters, and all the like. Just the chance to get Abyss in our map, even the chance to get Legion, the chance to get ritual, all that kind of stuff. The beyond nodes, everything gets scaled by Wandering Path. Even the chance for delirium if you choose not to use a delirium orb, and then the unending nightmare, so our delirium doesn't end, and the endless tide, so our beyond doesn't end. So the tree is very straightforward. This will be obviously available on the spreadsheet, as are all my trees of all the farms I've done. If you want to ask me which one's better, just head on over there and look at the results. These videos aren't really me saying what's better or worse. It's kind of me making a strategy, showing my results, and talking about it with you guys. It's not to say this is better than that, because, we could go back and forth on that all day, and I don't think it's worth the time. Just pick a strat that you think looks fun, and I'm just here to, show what happened when I did it and whether or not it's good to run for money. If you want the raw numbers, go to the sheet. Now, strategy itself, we did use a polished or gilded. I think I used gilded most of the a bit of the time. We'll say it was gilded in terms of the price, as I'm pretty sure I used the gilded. I don't know why polished is there. Gilded Abyss, gilded Reliquary, rusted Legion, Abyss on the map device made available by using the 7th gate. A lot of people seem to struggle with this. Just grab the 7th gate, click all 6 gateways, and you will have every map crafting option available to you. That is how that works. Let me just change this to gilded divination real quick. I think I did use some polished, but we'll say gilded. It is what it is. Copy that. Okay, and then for the compasses, we went with Beyond. These are extremely expensive now, but honestly, very, very worth it regardless of that. If they were not worth it, people would stop using them and they would hopefully come down in price. But a Beyond is just very, very strong. So many more mobs, so much more loot. Your map contains an additional Abyss. Obviously, we are going for the pure Abyss strategy, where we're forcing the map to be rolled with 2 additional projectiles. Then I went for kind of my thing I grabbed for this. I was just looking around, and even though these are very, very good, your rare maps contain 5 additional rare monsters, and your maps contain 5 additional packs with mirrored rare monsters. This is 15 additional rare monsters in your map, every map, which is very good with the way that loot goblins work. And I got some very good loot goblins in these maps. I think these compasses are very, very underpriced. They were 10C each for the elevated version of the compass, coming in under a chaos per map to run them. Absurd. Maybe they've gone up now, but this was absurd when I was running it. The fact that these were less than C. I remember back in Calandra League, these were used all the time, and these were very, very expensive. So people obviously forgot about them, and that's what happens from league to league. You've got to get that catalog and that backlog of things for leagues like this, where the stuff comes back, right? Who'd have thought we'd needed info from Calandra to be better at farming this league? Well, it turns out we absolutely do. Now, in terms of rolling the map, we do go with a Cemetery T7 map. The way to get these is to remove 3 watchstones from your map device. You're going to want to do that after activating the map. So when the portals come up, you remove the watchstones, or your sextants will be applied, but you'll be able to drop T7 map. So grab yourself a supply of cemeteries. And then the way that I rolled them was with my regex. I had it set for 2 additional projectiles. We'll go here. If you use PoE.re and you come over to the map modifiers, you'll be able to make your own. I have it filtered that I want additional projectiles, and then there's all these mods that I don't want. But you'd come here, you'd type projectiles, and you'd put this in so that you want this mod, right? You want to force this mod, and you want to exalt your maps. I know it sounds absurd. Someone even came into my chat and said, damn, the game's in a bad state if people are exalting the maps. I think the game's in a great state when people are exalting the map. Use your currency, invest it into your maps, and make more back. That's the way the game works. So roll your maps with +2 projectiles, exalt your maps. I know it sounds crazy, just do it. Exalts, they're 10C each. Look at how much currency is raining from the skies this league. You're going to make it back, and I absolutely did as well. So that is what I did with the maps. That is how I rolled them. Do not corrupt them. If at this point you want to use a delirium orb, you absolutely can, since they're not corrupted. You could put on 1 layer of delirium. It will give you 10% additional quantity and 20% rarity. This will go up with each delirium orb. So at 40%, it would be 20% quantity and 40% rarity, and on and on and on if you went up to 100. And this would obviously save you some points on the tree as well. You'd be able to drop the chance for delirium nodes. Not sure what you'd go. That would be for you to determine. This was the tree I made for this. Now we'll go into the results. So the results were fantastic. I've actually already cannibalized the tabs in game. This was done yesterday, and I've already beaten them up and taken all the divines because I needed them to craft a new build. So the loot isn't in game, but we do have the spreadsheet, and here it is. Maybe I still have the PoE stack saved, hopefully. I think maybe no, it's gone. It's truly gone. Okay, so we have this. You'll have to take my word for it. Go on my stream, look at it if you want. It's all in the VODs. But basically, Gilded Abyss, Gilded Div, Gilded Relic, Rusted Legion, Totalin, and all the other things, even the exalts, I counted every single one that I used. And then the compasses came to a total investment of 32.22 divine. So you do need a bit to get going, but this is obviously if you pay in advance for all 48 maps, which I would recommend, but you don't absolutely have to. So yeah, a pretty decent amount that you're putting in per map, 115C per map. It's a big investment, like I said, not an entry-level strat, but certainly something to do if you want to MF, and you're a bit, tentative about going to those T16s are kind of scary, huh? The PoE stat came in at 228 divines of value. Now, I filtered this. I removed all the Ventas, the random replica dragon fangs. It was basically just currency and scarabs once all was said and done, because that's all that drops when you're doing this. You're not getting awakened sextants. You're not getting Valdos. You're not getting... I got a few void bonds, admittedly. Definitely got a few void bonds. Got nothing out of them, but I got them. And a lot of this came from the currency explosions. You get so many rare mobs in your map doing Abyss that you end up getting a lot of these currency touched. I think the currency mobs that I got an 18 divine explosion and 214 divine explosions during this test. So with this many rare monsters in your map, you're absolutely going to get these. You're going to get screens full of winged scarabs. You're going to have the opportunity to put on Magic Find onto your character, and I think this is an absolutely great farm. And thank you to Garatha for making it. Like I said, I'd started working on this, then I got shown the video, so full credit to Garatha. I'm not trying to claim any of that. I'm just sharing with you guys what I did. If you want to try what I did, head on over to this spreadsheet, yoink away. You can check out my other strat, see how it kind of compares. It actually knocked everything out of the park in terms of returns. Maybe it was because I went so much faster than the other ones. I don't know, but this one actually won, which is kind of crazy. This got the most returns for me. You can see 19.58 per hour. It's actually the most I've made out of all the strats I've done this league by quite a decent amount. So T7 meta, huh? Let me know if you're going to do it. I'll see you in the next video.